a lot of people I heard after this performance are saying Haney will beat Ryan, Haney will beat Teo, Haney will beat Tank. He'll beat all those guys at 140. I already know your feelings towards Matisse. You think Matisse is the guy that beats all of them, but uh, does Haney beat Ryan? That looks like the
Easy.
next big fight for him.
Easy.
Wow, easy.
I told you this before, man.
Devin Haney beats Ryan Garcia easy.
Ryan beat, Devin Haney beats Ryan just like he beat Prograis.
No way.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Why?
How did Ryan look against his last opponent?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm interested.
He looked
you
terrible.
Thought he looked terrible?
He won.
Yeah.
He won, but really, compare Ryan's performance against a guy that's not on Prograis' level and compare Devin Haney's performance against Prograis. Two different guys. They fought two different guys, and they look, Devin Haney looked like $1 million, and Ryan looked like $1,000 against a guy that's not on Prograis' level. So I'm not gonna say he's gonna destroy him, but he beats him because he's more skilled. Because Ryan is not ready for. I told you this once before. I think in a couple of interviews ago. Ryan is if marketed right, a kid can make a lot of money because he's got a lot of followers. You just can't let your ego get in the way, not only through managers, but also through fighters. You can't let your ego get in the way. You got to be marketed the correct way, fight the right fights. And then when you have to at that next level, then you fight at the next level. He's not ready for that level yet. He's not ready. He proved that he wasn't ready for Tank. He definitely is not ready for Haney, and he's not ready for Shakur. Teo, I told you before, Teo has got the right style to come at him, and maybe he gets a little easier fight with Teo, but he may be, that's a 50-50 fight for me, but not against Devin Haney, not against Tank again, or not against Shakur.
So you feel it's the same one-sided performance versus Ryan with Devin, like similar to what we saw over the weekend?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And maybe even more dominating because Ryan has a good punch. Ryan has a little speed, but Ryan does not have the skill or the experience or ability that Prograis had. Prograis, you're talking about a world champion, and now you're talking about a guy that's really hasn't had that level of opposition, and he was confused when he fought Tank, completely confused. He showed some confusion when he fought Duarte, and Duarte is nothing. Or I shouldn't say nothing. Duarte is not at that level.
Yeah, you said you felt he looked terrible.
Not terrible. He just I didn't like
the shoulder roll thing.
Yeah, that's not his. That's not something you're gonna. Mind you, there's some fighters that are great at that, but that's not something you can learn in one fight. That's not something you can't at that level. You can't change your style in a way that is completely 100% different than it was before. He needs to go with what he does best. What he does best, he's got some hand speed, he's got a little power in his left hook, and he's got youth. I mean, he's got he does have a lot of ability to a certain level. Not the Haney ability, not the Prograis ability. And like I said before, Matias would destroy him, would knock him out so ugly that I would hate to see that fight.
Well, yeah, those are the two.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How would Egershoff do against Ryan?
Different styles. You know, it's a different fight. Like, obviously,
how would he do? How would he do?
I don't think he would break down Egershoff as quickly as Matias because they're different styles.
No, absolutely, but would Egershoff beat Ryan, or would Ryan win? Remember, you're talking about a world champion as an amateur with a background second to none. It just he fought a guy that could punch a little bit and controlled him with his power. Yeah. But how would this YouTube wonder boy do against an amateur world champion that had that many amateur world championship titles?
I don't know. Let's tell Oscar to make the fight. Let's see, Abel.
Yeah, I would love to see Egershoff. Hey, those are the kind of fights where Ryan is going to learn. He's fighting a guy that really is not going to be as talented as Haney and as Gervonta Davis and as Shakur. These guys they're finishers. These guys that we have here in America are finishers. Unfortunately, the guys that are coming from Europe are not quite the finishers that we have here. The great talents, great ability, great boxers, but in order to compete in the U.S., you're gonna have to be a finisher.
Ryan's a big puncher, though, Abel. I don't know. I'd favor him against Egershoff. Seeing that the pressure bothered Egershoff, and it looked like You know, the
No,
moment someone stepped to
power
him.
bothered
Yeah.
yourself, not pressure, power bothered. Every time he
Ryan
got hit,
Ryan has a lot of power though. He's a snappy fighter. No,
yeah,
come on, Abel. He has power.
what happened to Duarte? He
He knocked
finally
him out.
was he losing the? Yeah, in the eighth round, was he losing the fight?
No, Ryan was winning. Ryan was winning the
Oh,
fight.
was it a close fight?
I gotta remember my scorecards. I want to. It was competitive, but I had Ryan handedly winning. Yeah.
And he finally caught him in the eighth round.
Mhm.
Finally caught him in the eighth round. You're talking about two different levels. That's what in
Yeah.
my opinion, as a coach, I see two different levels. Mind you, he can get to that level, but it's not going to be in the next fight. He's going to have to, and that's the unfortunate thing about all of a sudden being a superstar. You don't have time to develop. You don't have time to learn. You don't have to. You don't have time to put those rounds in fights in the bank. You're thrown in against guys that it's survival of the fittest, as it was against Tank. So
Yeah. That's what can you do now? Like
no,
once you get to
right,
that point,
he's at the
like,
level now where he's got so as I said a little while ago, management, your ego has to stay out of the way. Management has to be smart on how they take this kid, because this kid is a superstar in the making. Okay, he just has a lot to learn. He's got a lot of the things that a lot of guys don't have: charisma, good looks, a little bit of boxing style,
power.
power. Okay, but what he lacks the most is experience.
Yeah. It's
Against
tough.
those guys.
We're seeing Jake Paul take on people say a step back, but like it's when you go from like Tank and then you go to Duarte was a good. I don't want to say. Would you consider it like developmental fight type of fight?
Yeah, no, it's a good fight.
Yeah.
Every fight's a developmental fight. Every fight has to be a learning fight. And Duarte was a good fight for him. I don't like how he fought it. Now, if he'd have fought it like David fought his fight, now he wants to be a superstar. Now he wants to be in control. Now he wants to be driving his own ship. He didn't fight it that way. David in his past fights was not fighting the way that he did. In this fight, he controlled. Devin Haney wasn't fighting this way in his prior fights. This fight, he controlled. Not only did he controlled a very good fighter. It's not just like he's fighting some guy off. It's not like he's fighting a Duarte. He was fighting somebody. He was fighting a world champion. So those are the differences. There's different levels, and hopefully Ryan will mature and get that experience. In my opinion, anyway, get that experience that he's going to need against good guys like Haney and like Shakur and
well, maybe he'll get it if he goes and he fights like a Rolly.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Yeah,
that's a good fight because Rolly's been in with guys that you can compare. You can compare.
Oh yeah,
him with.
Tank would be the main one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that's a good fight. That's a good. But I heard that wasn't going to be made. That Rolly said that he didn't want it or something.
No way.
No,
he's how it is sometimes. You kind of posture up to up the price. Hey,
like I said about my truck, right?
I'm not interested because it's a low price, and
Right.
make them come back
I
with a
hope they
higher
make
price.
that fight. That's a good fight for him.
Yeah,
that's a very good fight because it's a fight that's going to show us again a little more about Ryan, and if Ryan can control him and not fight the fight that he fought against Duarte, I don't think Rolly will allow him to do that because Rolly will foul him and will do things when he turns his back that Duarte was not doing. Rolly will be mean to him. So I think that's a good fight. It'll go a long ways into the maturity of Ryan Garcia.
Very interesting though. Very, very interesting. The 140-pound division, and with Devin wanting to move up to 147 pounds. Do you hear this
now,
news?
Let me ask you a question. Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford.
Come on, Abel.
Is it time yet? No.
No.
So he needs to stay at 140 for a little while to mature himself because it took Terrence how long?
Or even Devin against Boots.
Right.
Those Boots are is world guys. Champion. Yeah. Like
so it took Terrence and not so much Boots, but took Terrence all those fights in where's he from? Nebraska?
Yeah.
Okay. Took all those fights in Nebraska in his hometown to develop that skill that you need at that level. Now he's a great fighter, but it took him the maturity of all those fights. But he could do it in Nebraska. Ryan, as we're talking about Ryan and we're talking about Devin, they're doing it in front of everybody and they need more than 1 or 2 fights. They need more fights. So Devin, I would like to see him 3 or 4 fights at 140 against some decent guys, and then move up.